So, I've seen Tenet 3 times in IMAX. In omnimax theater, to be specific. Spherical IMAX screen. The website for the theater states it's a 5-story, 80-foot diameter dome, a screen that will fill your entire field of vision, providing a truly immersive experience. I can confirm that this is true. By the way, thanks, Dave. Now, let's work backwards, shall we? Prepare yourself. I am full-blown in love with this film, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, anywho, Elizabeth Debicki is a tall goddess, fam. And her acting was fucking solid throughout. Same for everyone, honestly. I believe from the moment that she heartbreakingly describes Kenneth Branagh's character, when she thinks of the woman that she saw diving and how she envied her freedom, dude. The beauty of the song called Betrayal on the score as well is heart-achingly good. It's so deep how she saw herself diving without realizing it, and how she got inspired by herself is a total mindfuck. Her delivery while saying this, while set to that gorgeous song, personally, I felt so much for her. By the way, the shots on the boat with her and John Washington's character talking, within this environment right here, those shots literally caused my buddy next to me, Josh, to be like, holy shit. He came with me to see it in IMAX. And by the way, it's important to stop and say that this is all my opinion. Let's remember. In fact, in my opinion, this is the trippiest action film ever. It's a literal action film. In action films, the action sequences / suspense scenes, these are the highlight of the overall narrative. But here, even the plot is amazeballs. I grew up loving Asian cinema style action films and action films just in general, such as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, On Bok, The Thai Warrior, Iron Monkey, The Raid 2, Speed. Yes, with Keanu Reeves, it counts. Or Mad Max, Fury Road. Love all of that shit. And Tenet is Nolan's PG-13 version of that. He stated that it's an action film and that it totally is. It totally is an action film, and it's completely fucking crazy and completely out of its mind. The red versus blue action sequence at the end, watching that through the full aspect ratio, real IMAX lens through my IMAX theater was absolutely mind-ripping. Even after 3 IMAX screenings, watching this bonkers and confusing action sequence is what it's what cinema was made for. Trying to understand who shot who and when. Did that building just explode and implode at the same time? Watching inverted explosions being exposed beneath vehicles that are driving through oddly dreamy desert-like landscapes. My God. When the protagonist, John David Washington, when he realizes that everything within the movie has been one big, gigantic temporal pincer movement from himself in the distant future, and that him and Neil have been friends for years, but that hasn't happened yet for the protagonist. Holy fucking shit. So these are some quotes from Neil. You're only halfway there. I'll see you at the beginning, friend. Or were the people saving the world from what might have been? Holy fuck. In a parallel worlds theory, we can't know the relationship between consciousness and multiple realities. Does your head hurt yet? All of the performances are solid. Robert Pattinson definitely stands out as a character. I mean, John is the best performance, but yeah. In terms of his character, Neil, you just want to learn so much more about his mysterious character. I don't know why people are getting their panties in a bunch about low character backstories, or characters not having names, or confusing audio scenes. For example, many have reported having issues hearing the audio in certain scenes, yet when they're able to watch Tenet at home, they'll notice that those strange audio mysteries have lessened or disappeared. This has been a reoccurring issue in theaters since The Dark Knight Rises, with Bane talking behind the mask. I wonder why that is. Guys, it's a giant puzzle box. A cinematic puzzle box. Like David Lynch's Inland Empire. Tenet is a cinematic optical illusion. Maybe more so a cinematic paradox. Like his version of an M.C. Escher drawing or painting. That alone is worthy of a 10 out of 10. Even though it's not as emotional as, say, Interstellar. So no, the fact that Tenet doesn't have me openly weeping a lot, that's not a flaw to me. Jesus, it's like some haters, they just go, man, I didn't get overly emotional while watching Tenet, so, or actually, I didn't really feel a lot of emotions, so therefore Tenet sucked. Anyway, the red Warner Brothers logo comes on, initiating that we're about to go forwards in time, and then we open in the opera hall, and we hear rising music, and I'm shivering from excitement as the 80-foot dome showcases the full aspect ratio of the sequence, just showcasing the full glory of the IMAX experience. The images are so large and eerie, I'm panicking. The music is heavenly, and then suddenly there's a literal boom as a terrorist attack ensues. The creepiness of the lighting and this terrorist attack throughout this opera house sequence is extraordinary. The editing throughout this opera house sequence is the best editing I've ever seen from Nolan. Holy shit. The sequence when the gas is pumped in and everybody is put to sleep, like falling dominoes. That sequence is so iconically creepy and so haunting. On the soundtrack, track 1, Rainy Night in Tallinn, when we get 1 minute and 26 seconds in, the fire-ass beat that ignites is so good. When hearing it in the film, it's pretty much the ultimate head-bobbing, inducing music. Just Jesus Christ. Likewise, the footage set to the same song. A moment that's 6 minutes and 6 seconds in to track 1. Imagery and the blaring, haunting music together during this music moment creates visual cinema that is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Sonically, it's like holy hot fire. Transcending in terms of a cinematic experience. Like looking at a Francis Bacon painting. You don't know what's happening, but it's just so nightmarish, beautifully gothic and entertaining. Tenet and these scenes are the same way. Even when someone gets shot with an inverted bullet here during this opera sequence, besides standing beside John Washington's character. Even that is just so creepily done and so memorable because of just how visually mind-fucking it is. It just visually breaks your head as you're trying to understand, particularly during that first viewing. My God. Still watching it, just visually, I'm like, what is happening physics-wise? In fact, I feel like the whole film has a undercurrent of humming and anxiety and just utter creepiness. Like the train yard sequence with John Washington's character, where he dies. When that guy walks up to him and starts fucking with him, but we don't really see it because the train starts going by. Watching this sequence in the IMAX, the imagery was so big that it's like your eyes were forced to look at the bottom of the frame, and you like notice the hauntingly photographed flowers and whatever other greenery was at the bottom. Just very something Hitchcockian there, you know? Beautiful stuff, beautiful camera work. Hoyte van Hoytema, his work is just delightful. The track Meeting Neil that plays when Robert and John reverse bungee jump into that building. Seeing that sequence in IMAX, oh my fucking God. Favorite songs so far on the album. Meeting Neil, it's my favorite track. The music turns this sequence into a paranoid, gothically haunting portrait of near-future sci-fi. The visuals, the textures, the color palette, it's very The Dark Knight-ish, and I can't get this particular sequence out of my head. Seeing that in IMAX, oh my God. The images were so big, I remember just like staring at the birds high above as these two men were ascending this building during the bungee jumping. The way that the IMAX image forces your eyes to observe the picture is just, it's like finally Christopher Nolan has loosened his grip on relaying overall information in a traditional sense. Like, for once, he doesn't fucking care if you just get completely lost throughout. He's finally achieved active viewing for one of his movies, this one. By 100%, a first for Nolan, outside of Dunkirk, anyways. It's like he wanted you to more so feel, to experience the film. It's a experiential film experience. It's almost like he wanted this to be experienced like experiencing a confusing sci-fi dream as opposed to anything else. He wants you to luxuriate in it, to watch it over and over again, to get lost in its mind and imploding narrative. The orgasmic score and the fascinating story and characters and the beautiful imagery. I'll admit, at times, Kenneth Branagh, he's just a bit too much. And another flaw is that the film is most similar to Shane Carruth's Primer, which is also a 10 out of 10 film. But I mean, could you imagine? I mean, listen, Primer is the best time travel film I've ever seen. But could you imagine if Primer, it's the same exact film, same way it is that we know, it's the exact same way. Could you imagine if Primer was released in today's time with was released in the same way that Tenet was released, with the same marketing and everything, you know, same theater release schedule. Like, most people would totally not like. Most people would totally not enjoy Primer. Okay, you know how challenging Primer is. You know how fucking obtuse that goddamn film is. Shit. Well, Tenet is in the exact same situation. Most people, most general audiences don't usually watch movies that are this level of challenging. So no, it's not that surprising to see so many mixed reviews paired with the glowingly positive reviews. Shout out to Elon Musk. So no, I'm not fazed by your negativity. I'm so sorry. The only other complaint that's coming to mind about this film right now is that, as much as I love the song, it is a bit fucking weird that this movie, in the end credits, it's just weird when we get to the end credits that we hear Travis Scott blaring. But the creepiness of the imagery when John Washington's character, when his character wakes up after quote unquote dying, and when he's being talked to, you know, near the side of the ship, and you know, when he's learning that, you know, his teeth were ripped out of his mouth and his mouth had to be reformed because that was all just an extreme test. A test? Shit. Could you imagine having the strength to endure something like that? Like, what the fuck? I mean, like I'm fucking barefooted right now because this fucking review's taking forever. But like if I stub my toe over there, as hard as I could, I'd be down for the counts. Okay, I wouldn't be able to take that shit. Never mind someone ripping my fucking teeth. The music was a little too intense at the beginning. It was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, Jesus Christ, calm down, Nolan. But either way, still, the jaw-dropping airplane crashing sequence, my God. When Robert and John are running towards the plane and you're watching water reverse back into the hoses that these firefighters are holding, and the firefighters are moving backwards while Robert and John are moving forwards in time towards the plane. And sometimes it seems like, well, some people going in reverse must have seen them going forwards in time, right? Or just, I was screaming at the badassness of Robert and John lung packing as they walk, like beast moding through hallways, like just not breathing, not taking in any air. Like, those shots are so iconic. What are you guys talking about? Holy shit. It was so badass. This film makes you feel like a fly on a wall, watching real life James Bond embarking on an acid trip level mission. I fucking love this film. What are you guys talking about? Track 5 on the soundtrack, Trucks in Place, I believe it is. When you go 1 minute and 25 seconds in, when this musical moment starts in the film, I'm telling you, what hair-raising, chills-inducing lighting and the giant stunt work. It's just all photographed, it's all photographed so gothically. This sequence is just simply awe-inspiring and genuinely spooky. The highway car chases in all directions of time is completely mind-fuckingly awesome. By the way, people be like, well, haters, they be like, why does the protagonist care for Kat so much? Why does he care for Debicki's character so much? It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. The drawing is his hold over me. He threatened me with police, prison, the works. He controls me. The contact with my son, everything. Leaving would never have been easy, but now it's impossible. You can't fight just beg. In Vietnam, I tried to love him again. I thought if there was love there, he might give me my son back. First off, the delivery, the music, such a heartbreaking moment. I felt for her so much in this moment. And I think John Washington's character does too. Substantially so. Which is really fucking sweet when you think about it. And where we leave her in the story, that is so bonkers inspiring, especially because of the usage of warpy time physics, and it's just so it's just so beautiful. Even the moment where, you know, John Washington, he's like, what do you think we're seeing? We think we're seeing here, and that woman's like, you know, the detritus of a coming war. And then, you know, we see him looking up and around, just like spellbound, and then suddenly we cut to this shot right here of these buildings, okay? Jesus Christ! Seeing this moment in IMAX, you know, full aspect ratio, you know, when this shot of these buildings right here, seeing this in IMAX, oh my God, it was like Blade Runner-ish, like watching a sweeping Blade Runner-ish style cityscape. Or when so there's like the red room and the blue room and the mirror, when there's conversations happening between John and Kenneth, and John is watching Kenneth speaking to him backwards and performing backwards, and vice versa. We're watching Kenneth observing John Washington, even though his time is hallway fight had me hollering. It was so insane. Particularly in reverse, like when we realized that person in the SWAT suit is like John Washington's been fighting himself. Like when Robert Neal chases down that other version of John during that sequence, and when Robert catches up to him and rips off the helmet of John and realizes that this is a John David Washington from another dimension and time, and we watch on Robert's face as, you know, he realizes that he's seeing the impossible, witnessing literal magic before Robert takes off running. When John David Washington's character, when he's in the SWAT suit, and during the fight sequence, there's a moment where his body appears to be levitating backwards down the hallway because of the inverted physics. In general, the acting is solid. Music, legendary. Cinematography on a whole new level in IMAX, or just in raw form, or the best form you can get it. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say? Shit. John David Washington is such a revelation. Guys, gals, and all other humans. While not his most emotionally stirring, that aside, this is Christopher Nolan's best work, in my opinion, his magnum opus. Tenet is my favorite Christopher Nolan film thus far, and no bitch, I don't give a fuck what I mispronounced or whatever other flaws you found in me. My second favorite Christopher Nolan film at the current time is Interstellar, and my third favorite Nolan film is Inception. Sorry for the long wait for this review, but I just wanted it to be right, and it feels just right. Guys, Tenet, for me, is a masterpiece. A 10 out of 10.